1960s, a band rose up from the underground music scene of London, one that would revolutionize the very fabric of rock music. Led Zeppelin, with their earth-shattering riffs, enigmatic mystique, and unparalleled creativity, pushed the boundaries of sound, forging a legacy that still resonates today. But how did four musicians from different walks of life come together to revolutionize the rules of rock? What was it about their music, their performances, and their mystique that cemented them as pioneers of a new generation? In this in-depth account, we'll explore the seismic impact of Led Zeppelin, a band that didn't play rock music. They redefined it. This is the story of how Led Zeppelin redefined rock music for all time, an unforgettable journey of sonic innovation, larger-than-life performances, and a lasting legacy that resonates through the decades. Get ready for an epic tale of one of rock's greatest legends. Formed in 1968, was crafted from the ashes of the Yardbirds, fronted by guitarist Jimmy Page. The New Yardbirds was the initial name of the band, which quickly evolved into a force that would forever change the face of rock music. With Jimmy Page on guitar, Robert Plant on vocals, John Paul Jones on bass and keyboards, and John Bonham on drums, Led Zeppelin was a marriage of musical excellence and creative genius. Their first album, Led Zeppelin I, was a raw, blues-infused sound bomb that blew apart the conventions of the era's rock music. With Good Times, Bad Times, and Dazed and Confused, Led Zeppelin paved the way for what would later become the heavier, more energetic subgenre of rock music that we now know as hard rock. Whereas most 1960s and 1970s bands were preoccupied with producing hit singles, Led Zeppelin worked differently. They were interested in writing albums as art forms, not necessarily with the hope of a radio hit single. Their albums were experiences, each song part of some greater whole, to be heard from beginning to end. Albums like Led Zeppelin II, Led Zeppelin IV, and Houses of the Holy exhibited their ability to blend rock, blues, folk, and even Eastern influences. Whole Lotta Love from Led Zeppelin II introduced a new sound intensity with its heavy guitar riffs and raw vocals by Plant.
Give you my love. Want a whole lot of love.
But there wasn't all heaviness. The Battle of Evermore and Going to California revealed their range as they explored acoustic and folk-influenced numbers.
Children of the sun begin to awake.
Led Zeppelin albums were not just collections of songs. They were magnificent narratives, meticulously built and sequenced. Rock music was elevated to a higher, more artistic plane by this album-oriented aesthetics, with an appeal that encouraged listeners to hear music in a more profound way. One of the most enduring legacies of Led Zeppelin in rock music is their contribution to the evolution of heavy metal. Not a metal band themselves, their heavy, guitar-based sound and John Bonham's powerful drumming became the template for much of the metal bands that followed. Tracks like Immigrant Song and Black Dog introduced a level of aggression and intensity that was hardly heard in rock music at the time. Their overdriven guitar sounds, driving rhythms, and Plant's shrieking vocals created a wall of sound that was so intense it pushed the limits of what rock music could sound like. The raw power and weight of their performances influenced a generation of bands and set the stage for the emergence of bands like Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, and later Metallica and Iron Maiden. At its foundation, Led Zeppelin was blues-infused. Jimmy Page, drawing on the blues masters Willie Dixon and Muddy Waters, brought a raw, visceral energy to his playing. Tracks like Since I've Been Loving You and You Shook Me are a testament to their blues heritage, but with a heavy metal spin that redefined the genre. But Led Zeppelin didn't simply borrow the blues, they redefined it. They took the foundations of the genre and turned it up, literally and figuratively. With long improvisations, bombastic stage shows, in Page's inventive use of studio trickery like reverse echo and multi-tracking, they created something new. Their fusion of the blues and hard rock not only paid homage to their musical roots, but also stretched the possibilities of what rock could be. Jimmy Page's fascination with the occult and use of symbols on the band's fourth album only helped to fuel their legendary status. The band didn't want to be musicians. They wanted to build a mythology. This mystique made Led Zeppelin larger than life, something more than a rock band. Led Zeppelin live performances were the stuff of legend. The band was renowned for their free-form jams and extended solos, stretching a standard 2-hour set into a mind-blowing marathon concert experience. Jimmy Page's guitar solo in Dazed and Confused could last longer than 20 minutes. And John Bonham's drum solo in Moby Dick was an epic journey through the power of percussion. The band also pioneered the use of large-scale stadium rock concerts, delivering an unprecedented level of energy to the stage. Their 1973 Madison Square Garden concerts, recorded on the film The Song Remains the Same, are classic examples of the raw power they could deliver on stage. Unlike most of their contemporaries who struggled to reproduce their studio sound in a live environment, Led Zeppelin thrived in live environment, delivering their music to new heights with every performance. Groundbreaking studio innovations. Led Zeppelin was as much a studio band as they were a live band, and what they accomplished in the studio was groundbreaking. Late-period Yardbirds guitarist Jimmy Page, the band's in-house producer, was a pioneer of studio effects. His fanatical attention to detail and experimentation with new recording techniques allowed the band to produce some of the most groundbreaking and lasting recordings in the history of rock music. A timeless legacy across genres. In hip-hop, Led Zeppelin's music has been sampled by artists like the Beastie Boys and Eminem, something that speaks to the fact that what they do is neither of one genre or the other. Theirs is not a legacy of the music they made, but of generations of artists whose playing, singing, and creativity were inspired to experiment, question what was there, and push music forward. Led Zeppelin's innovative rock sound forever redefined the genre. Their blending of blues, folk, and hard rock with studio experimentation, mystique, and iconic live performances established a new benchmark for what rock music could be. They didn't make music. They made an experience, a culture, and a legacy that continues to inspire musicians across genres and generations. Their work is still relevant today, since they are still among the highest-rated and most influential bands rock music has ever seen. Led Zeppelin played rock music just like any other band, yet they transformed the genre. In doing so, they changed music history forever. Before you go, smash that like button. And don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out.